Coming up, I'm Ashley Fullerton and find out how Mississippi State is helping their students dress for success.
Soldiers are back from deployment from overseas. I'm Taylor Cleveland to see how one Mississippi State student's experience was.
Looking to try a new restaurant in Starkville? I'm Eliza Heidelberg. Find out what this new restaurant has to offer.
Sweet 16s and Final Fours. I'm Cody West with the rise of MSU women's basketball.
Fluctuating weather. I'm Chris Scott. Find out how farmers are preparing for planting season.
One day it's cold, the next day it's warm. This can be an annoyance for many of us, but a disaster for farmers.
But it's not just farmers impacted by this, Maggie. The price we pay on household items might be in danger. Take 30's Chris Scott tells us how weather could prevent farmers from planting.
It's planting season in Mississippi.
It's been hard trying to prepare for the upcoming season.
Regional Extension Specialist Dr. Dennis Reginelli says weather patterns could threaten cotton, sweet potatoes, wheat, soybeans, and corn.
It's been raining every week. Some areas have had more rain than others. Some had really flooding that really hurt the lay of the land.
Time is running out because Reginelli says that most seeds need to be in the ground by May, or crops may become dry or infested with insects. He says that wheat and corn are especially in sensitive stages.
It's been raining about every 3 or 4 days, and it's been very windy. So those are two things that have caused us to be behind the 8 ball as far as getting our fields in condition and ready to plant.
According to Dr. Reginelli, fluctuating weather is making farmers' jobs more difficult. But what people won't realize is that everyday items, such as a t-shirt, are all dependent upon farmers.
What we eat, what we wear, all of the things that are associated with us and our daily activities are all a direct relationship to a farmer. Without farmers, you have nothing. So we need to thank the American farmer.
For Take 30 News, I'm Chris Scott.
Dr. Reginelli says depending on the crop, harvesting will take place between June and November. Changes in the weather can also wreak havoc on our sinuses. Springtime means it's pollen season. Nurse practitioner at State Urgent Care, Christy Robertson, says if you're feeling worse this year than in the past, you're not alone.
We've had a really bad pollen season this year. The most important thing is, like, after you're outside for very long, if you have some nasal saline that you can get over the counter, rinse your nose out periodically because that keeps it from sitting in your sinus cavity that can kind of brew and cause all the runny nose, sneezing, that type of thing. The other thing is when you're driving, turn on we were talking about this at work the other day, and a lot of people don't even know there's a recirculation button you can hit in your car. It doesn't pull all the fresh air and the pollen in your car. It makes a big difference.
Now let's take a quick look at this weekend's weather from weather.com. Tomorrow will be a cool day with a high of 75 degrees and a low of 55. On Saturday, there's a 40% chance of thunderstorms, so take note of that as you plan your weekend. And finally, Sunday is expected to be the coldest of the 3 days with a high of 59 and a possible low of 36 degrees.
Some students are getting a lesson on social media and ethics in real time as their instructors' controversial tweets have drawn criticism from people across the country. Mississippi State journalism ethics instructor Ryan Phillips took to Twitter comparing a Young America's Foundation event on campus to a KKK rally. Participants held a sign that read "Build the Wall" and said their goal was to educate people on border security. Phillips' tweet has since been deleted and his account set to private. He apologized for any poor reflections on the institutions he's a part of in an article written for the Daily Starkville News, but he said he will not apologize for having and voicing an opinion. MSU President Dr. Mark Keenum released this statement. The group, quote, followed proper protocol and procedures in securing a space on the drill field to offer their viewpoint and discuss the immigration issue with other students. They were exercising their First Amendment and freedom of assembly rights just as many student groups do nearly every day here on the MSU campus. I share your concerns about the inappropriate rhetoric Mr. Phillips used in engaging these students. He should have known better. We reached out to Phillips' department head to see if he'd face disciplinary action and have not heard back. Mississippi school teachers are expected to see a $1,000 pay raise this year. House Speaker Philip Gunn and other members of the Legislative Budget Committee met Monday to continue the negotiation of this year's budget. Gunn said Mississippi's economy is doing well and has more money than expected. Gunn said this budget will likely include a $1,000 pay raise for teachers instead of the $500 that was originally pitched.
Can you imagine standing in line all night and into the morning for just a sandwich? One Starkville student did just that.
That's right. Take 30's Eliza Heidelberg explains why one student will have plenty of sandwiches for a while.
A long line formed early Tuesday morning outside Chicken Salad Chick for the grand opening, as guests hope to be one of the first 100 customers to win free chicken salad once a month for a year. Mississippi State student Kimberly Wilson made sure she was the first customer in line in order to win free chicken salad once a week for a year.
Well, I've been out here since 12 a.m. and nobody really showed up until closer to 5, but really and truly I came out here because I used to go to the one in Auburn all the time and I absolutely loved it, so figured I'd make an event out of it for grand opening in Starkville.
Stacy Brown, founder of Chicken Salad Chick, started by delivering her chicken salad door to door in her own neighborhood. Little did she know she'd be shut down by the health department because it is illegal to sell food out of your home. But then she opened her first restaurant in Auburn, Alabama. The grand opening was a family event. Even Harrison Hallberg, the youngest son of Starkville Chicken Salad Chick owners Eric and Kathy Hallberg, was allowed to miss school for the opening. Stacy said she is excited to be opening this new location in Starkville.
And we are now at, today is number 112. Tomorrow is 113. So we are very excited that there are this many chicken salad lovers across the country, and we're just trying to feed them all.
President and CEO of Chicken Salad Chick, Scott Davini, said this is the perfect place for the company's Starkville location.
It's close to campus, you can see the stadium, it's a great location with that main corridor coming into town.
The new restaurant offers 12 flavors of chicken salad to choose from, but Stacy said she could not pick a favorite.
So people ask me that all the time, and it's kind of like saying, which is your favorite child? Do you think that your mom and dad would choose a favorite child? It would be you, wouldn't it?
Chicken Salad Chick is now open Monday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. and is located off Highway 12 near MSU's campus. When we return, from service member to student, how MSU's National Guard members transition back into civilian life.
Take 30 News is the only student-powered television news program at Mississippi State.
We've got the latest weather report.
We go far and wide to tell you the stories you need to hear from your campus. From parking
spots are becoming more and more scarce.
To sports.
Also, the opening of the new Polk DeMint Stadium.
To how to stay healthy.
It is supposed to lessen your symptoms.
Take 30 News is the news you need, wrapped in maroon and white.
Cash Matlock from the Wednesday crew in the fall of 2018.
Learning, growing, becoming. Take 30 News at MSU.
Welcome back to Take 30 News. There's a chance that the student next to you in class might have experienced life overseas.
That's right. Take 30's Taylor Cleveland joins us in the studio to tell us about some of our military on campus. Taylor?
Thank you, Maggie. There are more than 2,000 students in the military that attend Mississippi State. I got a chance to speak with Savon Daughtry about his recent experience that he'll never forget. Mississippi State student Savon Daughtry may look like a normal guy, but he just spent the last 9 months overseas.
But when we actually found out that we were going to Kuwait, I felt easy knowing that it wasn't going to be like a comeback zone deployment. So I feel good about it.
The 155 is Mississippi's largest Army National Guard unit. More than 4,000 soldiers deployed to Kuwait this past year. Sergeant Daughtry says he is very happy to be back in the United States.
When I got off the plane, I first seen my dad, I ain't gonna lie, man, I almost cried. And for me, it was just like simple stuff like seeing grass and trees, because when you're in Kuwait, it's nothing but open skies and desert. That's all you see. The first thing that really, really hit me was the heat.
Daughtry says he'll never forget some of the things that he saw. He shared a video of a dust devil that he captured.
They tried to make it seem like at home, you know, that was one of the good things. The bad things was the food. But they try to make, you know, like American food, but it don't.
He also said that he enjoyed working out in Kuwait and shared a video of the run that soldiers took on 9/11.
My plans is to get my degree, and then once I get my degree, get a job in my field. Join the Army, get you one of these.
Daughtry says he's lucky that his deployment was not in a hostile environment and he made it back safely. Maggie?
Daughtry says while his most recent tour is complete, he could get called again at any time.
Can you imagine not getting a job you were qualified for, not because of an interview or a resume, but the clothes in your back? One group says it's a reality for too many MSU seniors, so they're jumping in to help. Take 30's Ashley Fulton has a story.
Shopping for professional clothing can become expensive, and a lot of college students don't know where to start when looking for interview clothes. Mississippi State University is offering an option that will help students with costs and guidelines on what to wear. MSU Student Association saw that students needed a way to access professional clothing without breaking the bank, so they decided to start Bully's Closet.
I had students email, they'll find my number and text me, DM on Twitter and say, hey, is there anywhere that I could rent professional clothing for an interview that I have coming up?
A nice jacket like this costs over $100, but for students who use the closet, it would be free. Right now, the Student Association hopes that the closet would be a place where students could come in and find a professional or business casual outfit that they could check out for a few days. MSU's Career Center and the President's Commission of the Status of Women sponsor the project and have held clothing drives for new and gently used clothes to stock the closet.
But certainly, I think it's beneficial. I think it's needed, and we're more than willing to help partner with someone that's wanting to kind of get that off the ground.
Cussman says that the Career Center partnered with the Student Association because they both had the same idea that a closet like this could not only help students financially, but could help them have a better understanding of what to wear to an interview. I'm Ashley Fullerton for Take 30 News.
The Student Association hopes to have a space for Bully's Closet in the fall. And don't go anywhere, because Take 30 Sports is next.
It's hard to fathom. By the year 2050, Earth will be home to 3 billion more people than today. And with rising populations and dwindling resources, one of the most pressing questions is a stark one. How will we feed everyone? At Mississippi State University, we're preparing a meal table where there's a seat for all of us. As one of the nation's leading research universities, our scientists are deploying technology to enhance crop production, developing vaccines to protect aquaculture, working to boost water resources here at home and in communities around the globe. And by partnering with the League of International Universities and the United Nations, we're guaranteeing that global food security is a priority for years to come. As our world grows, so do the challenges. But when it comes to how we will feed everyone, rest assured, Mississippi State has all options on the table.
Cash Matlock from the Wednesday crew in the fall of 2018.
Learning, growing, becoming. Take 30 News at MSU.
Final Fours, championships, and #1 seeds. These have become the norm in women's.
Believe it or not, there was a time when MSU women's basketball was not fortunate enough to compete for a national championship, let alone even win 10 games in a single season. The same can be said for the number of fans. There was a time when MSU women's basketball was thankful to even see 100 fans in the stands here at Humphrey Coliseum, but now they see thousands.
We weren't there at that time, and that was from a product on the court standpoint, as well as the atmosphere and the fans and the engagement with the fans. We weren't there yet. We were drawing a decent amount for the sport of women's basketball.
At first, it seemed to be a down year, with the Bulldogs recording another losing season. However, the Bulldogs won more than 10 games and showed promise that bloomed the following season when the Bulldogs started their first of currently 6 straight seasons of winning 20-plus games.
And in the community of athletics, having that M State logo and having the Mississippi State brand just plastered everywhere and becoming synonymous with a powerhouse women's basketball is, I think it's unexpected for a lot of people. I don't know that it was expected several years ago. I think Vic Schaefer expected that, and the rest of us bought into that vision.
The Bulldogs' rise has reached a very high point, with back-to-back years appearing in the Final Four, becoming one of the biggest faces of women's basketball, not just in the state, but the entire country. I'm Cody West with Take 30 News.
MSU women's basketball continues their push for a championship on Friday at 8 p.m. in Portland, Oregon. Fans can also see the game live on ESPN2.
Mississippi State's baseball is off to a good start in the SEC. The Diamond Dogs won 2 of 3 when they hosted Auburn last weekend. Auburn won Friday's contest with a score of 6-5, and on Saturday, with over 12,000 people present, Mississippi State responded to rout the Tigers with a final score of 15-2. Mississippi State overcame a sizable deficit to win on Sunday. The final score of that game was 20-15. MSU is number 2 in the D1 baseball top 25 rankings, and Mississippi State will host LSU this evening at 6 p.m. Last weekend was full of Bulldog basketball. On Friday, the men's basketball team lost to Liberty University 80-76. This loss resulted in the Bulldogs being knocked out of the NCAA tournament in the round of 64. And as for the Lady Bulldogs, they defeated Southern University of Louisiana by 57 points on Friday. The final score of the game was 103-46. 2 days later, they defeated the Clemson Tigers 65-81, and the Lady Bulldogs will play Arizona State tomorrow at 8 p.m. on ESPN2.
Well, it's been 1 year since the Starkville Pride Parade received national attention after 4 city aldermen initially denied the parade tournament. That parade ended up happening after all, and now we're just days away from the 2nd annual Pride event. I'm going to sit down with Starkville Mayor Lynn Spruill, who was at the center of the controversy. Cash Matlock from the Wednesday crew in the fall of 2018.
Learning, growing, becoming. Take 30 News at MSU.
Well, thank you for joining us. I'm Cash Matlock, and today we're going to be talking about what some would call a controversial topic, the Starkville Pride Parade. I'm joined now by Mayor Lynn Spruill of Starkville, Mayor of Starkville. Mayor, can you tell me about how did this, what was the decision-making process like 1 year ago? Did the students at MSU approach you for this Pride Parade, or how did that come about?
Well, we have a process in the city of Starkville for things like special events. We have a meeting where everybody kind of comes together to see what the city needs to do, police service, sanitation, that sort of thing. And so Bailey and Emily came and put in an application to have a parade, and we went through that process, and then it went before the Board of Aldermen.
Okay. And now we're coming up on 1 year later. We're gearing up for the 2nd annual parade. Is this something that you see as kind of important for this community?
Well, I think it's always important to show inclusion and diversity, and I think that's what this does. Obviously, it was a little controversial when we started, but I believe now that it's going to just be a part of the community just the way any other parade is.
Okay, and now you mentioned the controversial side of it. We actually have some footage of a couple tweets, and several local people were talking about this, and then it kind of blew up with people who were against the parade, people who were for the parade, and then it kind of garnered the attention of some national news outlets. Did you kind of expect that? Did you expect it to get that big?
I did not. It was quite a surprise, and actually it was international because I had a friend from the UK call me about it and showed me an article that I think came out of France that they were talking about it, and of course there was a lot of interest in that. So no, it was quite a surprise to me. I had no idea we would have that kind of attention.
Right, and then I guess, kind of going back to all this attention it's getting and the controversy and everything like that, did you, for a while it was looking like it was going to be kind of a legal battle almost. And
well, it was a legal battle. It wasn't just looking like it. Okay. It was a legal battle.
Right, and I know that they had some pro bono lawyers that were going to help them out. Did the taxpayers lose any money? Did anything happen like that? Did you guys have to get a lawyer involved? Or?
Well, we certainly have our own city attorney, but he doesn't work for free. He's
Right.
not salaried, so there were hours that were committed to legal discussions and legal filings and pleadings and that sort of thing. So certainly we did spend money on it.
Okay, I understand. And how much money would you say, just roughly?
I think it was about $40,000, and that I've struggled with that. I don't want that number to stick because 25 also sticks in my mind, but I don't recall exactly what it was.
Okay, and then we can kind of gear more towards this year coming up. Do you expect it to have as much, national attention as it did last year?
It would surprise me if it had any national attention because now it just becomes a normal process, a normal annual event. I think that all the attendance that we had and all the interest that we had was driven by the controversy associated with it. So I imagine it will be just a nice, quiet Pride Parade. Right. And we have them in other places in Mississippi. So, and they've never, to my knowledge, created the kind of furor that we had a year ago.
Okay. And then how do you get, the naysayers to kind of rally around this cause or support something like this?
You're going to ask me a question I have no answer to.
Right.
I don't know how you have the naysayers because I think the naysayers are going to always be naysayers. I do think that the people who are on the fence, who are not sure about it, can be brought around because it doesn't rise to the level of being a problem. I mean, it's just another parade, and the people when people behave in a way that doesn't make people uncomfortable, doesn't call attention in a negative way, I think that people will be very fine with it, and it won't matter at all.
Okay, and then have you received any sort of negative attention this year so far? Anybody planning on protesting this?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
And it's not, what is it? Day after tomorrow.
Right.
So, yeah,
right.
We have not heard it, but I'm not going to be surprised if somebody does either. So, we'll see.
And then do you think that this has put, a negative light on Starkville or the state of Mississippi? I mean, we already have, some would say, a rough history with things concerning social causes. Do you think Starkville can recover from any damage that, that negative light may have cast?
I think Starkville has recovered. I think the very fact that the first parade, the last one that we had, was a huge success. We had an enormous number of people, had no incidents at all. Everyone had a great time. I think it's recovered fully.
Okay. All righty. Well, like you said, the parade is coming up in 2 days. And so that's pretty much all the questions I had for you, Mayor Spruill. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day and agreeing to come and talk with us about this.
Happy to always talk about Starkville.
All righty. Well, we'll be right back with more.
Take 30 News is the only student-powered television news program at Mississippi State.
We've got the latest weather report.
We go far and wide to tell you the stories you need to hear from your campus. From parking.
Parking spots are becoming more and more scarce.
To sports.
Also, the opening of the new Polk DeMint Stadium.
To how to stay healthy.
It is supposed to lessen your symptoms.
Take 30 News is the news you need, wrapped in maroon and white.
What started off as an idea by 3 young entrepreneurs has now grown into a professional and successful digital agency called Rocketing Media. This Saturday, April 6th, they are hosting a free workshop called How to Make 6 Figures on Shopify While Still in College. The workshop will be teaching college students how to start your own online store working with Shopify. Shelby Baldwin, along with 2 other founders, will be presenting the workshop and are hoping that they can inspire other entrepreneurs.
I think it's just encouraging people that they can do it, because I feel like a lot of people think like I'll never be able to do that, but I did it and I would have never thought I would have done it. So.
The Old May Music Festival will be next Friday. Music Maker Productions just announced the lineup. The lineup includes Louis Del Mar, Duncan Fellows, Dirty Streets. The event will start at 3 p.m. at the MSU Amphitheater. The festival is a free event with artists, food vendors, music, and other outdoor activities. We spoke to Bailey Berry and the publicity chair for Music Makers about why they chose their music lineup.
We just make sure that we're just capturing the atmosphere that Old Main has in the music. It's typically like very uplifting and a lot of fun, and we want to make sure that the music and the bands and the artists that we book reflect that. So all of the bands will be super fun, interactive. They all put on a really great show. So.
Thanks for tuning in to Take 30 News. I'm Maggie Thomas.
And I'm Reed Williams. You can catch the show as well as previous shows on our YouTube page. Have a good night.